Merry Christmas from Rotted Reviews, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the 2010 movie Birdemic. You may be asking yourself, what does this movie have to do with Christmas at all? Well, the answer is directly, nothing. Indirectly, there is a tie-in, and here it is. For those of you that have been following the channel, you know that this has not exactly been the easiest year. However, it has not been all dark spots. There have been bright elements as well, including me joining a D&D group that we all play remotely, and it's just been an absolutely wonderful, wonderful time. And the DM of our group is a longtime Rotted Soul who has been requesting many times that I review Birdemic. And it's just always been more of a logistical situation where it's just never really been in the cards anytime there's been a random drawing or anything along those lines. So I decided to go ahead and Merry Christmas to Liam. This is your gift from me to you. I'm finally doing it. All right, 2010's Birdemic Shock and Terror, written, directed, produced, etc. by James Nguyen. And man, what is there to say about this? This is the second time that I watch this movie. I really make it a point not to review a movie unless I watch it fairly recently. And, I don't rely on, well, I saw it 10 years ago, so I can go ahead and speak on it. I need it more refreshed than that. And the only other time that I've ever seen Birdemic, aside from just now, was as part of a group watch party through the Spooky Astronauts Patreon Discord community, which, by the way, if you are looking for a horror community to be a part of and a creator to support, I strongly recommend checking out the Spooky Astronauts Patreon. It is just a fantastic, large, engaging, inclusive group of wonderful, wonderful people. Cannot recommend it enough. So this is a classic example of a movie that is so bad it's good. And I recently just talked about this concept when I was reviewing Killer Raccoons 2, Dark Christmas in the Dark. And it was kind of coming down to the point of there's two major categories that a good bad movie can fall under. One is the purpose-made good bad movie where everybody knows what they're getting into and they're going for it anyway. We're talking about like the later Sharknado entries, possibly the first Sharknado entry. And then the inadvertent ones, the Tommy Wiseau, The Rooms, and so forth, where the director is just completely oblivious to the schlock that they're putting out. They think it's the greatest thing in the world, and it just turns out to be awful. And I don't know where James Nguyen runs in this circle. It seems like the latter. It seems like it's more of an inadvertent make, but at the same time, given the opportunity to come up with sequels, it's just worse and worse and worse. So, was it a situation of somebody that just knows what they're getting into? If somebody actually has like interviews or documentation or anything that can add some clarity to that for me, I would very much appreciate it. But I tend to think that at the very least, this first movie was inadvertent and was a matter of pride. And if that's the case, man, this becomes a really tough kind of thing to review because it is just absolutely god-awful. Liam, you hurt me, man. You hurt me so bad. Watching this is not part of a group watch party. Watching this just alone in the manner of analytical review was painful. And if this was something that James Nguyen was indeed truly proud of as a auteur of the arts, how much do I really rail into it without feeling like I'm punching down unnecessarily? The score is going to reflect my true, honest, objective thoughts, but in terms of how much I rant about it, and how much good would that even do? Every single scene, every single frame within every single scene is just terrible. And within that terrible, everything is somehow beauty. One thing that I can say in favor of this movie is it really does let you know what this is all about right up front. It doesn't hide the cell at all. This is one of the first scenes that the movie opens up with.
Hi.
Here's the menu.
Thank you.
So yeah, the writing, the delivery, the camera work, the sound design, the editing, All of it is just really fully on display here, and it doesn't get any better as the movie goes on. If anything, it gets worse, which makes it a true painful joy to watch. I will say this movie does start to wear on me a bit because it does take about halfway through the film before any of the Birdemic stuff starts.
Shit, here they come!
Up until that point, we basically just have the character interactions where there's no real interesting dynamics, conflict, resolutions, growth, stumbling, anything along those lines. We're just seeing people interact in a very vanilla, benign way with each other.
Woohoo! Hey, what's with all the noise?
Caught the big fish.
Yeah? How big was the sale?
$1 million.
And the kitsch of the awful filmmaking really only goes so far. So this movie does start to drift into the dreaded territory that no movie should do, even the good bad movies, and that is become boring. But just about as it's threatening to really lose me on that front, the Birdemic stuff starts, and we just kick off in major ways with terrible visual effects of the birds attacking humanity with a strong beat you over the head environmental message that is just anything but subtle. Apparently James Nguyen was inspired to make Birdemic after watching both The Birds and An Inconvenient Truth, and the messaging within this film is a tough pill to swallow. Not because it's not a good message, but more just because the delivery is an absolutely abysmal mess.
Haven't you noticed those eagles seem to be going after people in their cars and gas stations? Besides, it's not the eagle that I worry about. Damn global warming. It's the cause of dry climate and bark beetles and death of the trees and forests.
So at this point, I have to acknowledge that although I have heard many things and read some reviews on the sequels, I have not actually seen them. So while I want to say that I think this may placate Liam, I kind of know the actual truth, that this is only going to lead to the next inevitable request of Birdemic 2. Maybe next year. But in the meantime, I do want to just give a very heartfelt thank you to Liam for being a wonderful DM, as well as to our ragtag group. Thank you so much, Mary, Lauren, Aaron, and Kyle. You have given me really, truly some very bright spots in an otherwise dark year, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. I hope everybody out there, you included, have a very Merry Christmas. And in the meantime, next time you want to watch a horror movie, first make sure that it's good and rotted.